So, you've poured everything into building a website, you hit publish, and crickets. Ever been there? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the absolute must-dos to make sure Google can even see your creation in the first place.
It is such a sinking feeling, right? You build this amazing thing, you're so proud of it, but it feels completely invisible. Well, the good news is there's a reason for that, and it's usually fixable. First, we just need to understand how Google actually finds things.
And let's get one thing straight. Right from Google themselves, you do not have to pay to show up in search results, period. So if it's not about money, what's the secret? Well, it's really about making sure you get a few simple technical handshakes right. So what are these handshakes? What does it actually take? Turns out, when you strip it all down, it comes down to just three core things, three technical keys that unlock the door to the massive world of Google search. That's it. Just three. Not 100 complicated rules, not some dark art you have to master. Just three foundational steps. You ready to see what they are? All right, let's dive into the first one. This is all about rolling out the welcome mat for Google's most important visitor, a little thing called Googlebot. So what is Googlebot? The easiest way to think about it is like a tireless little librarian for the entire internet. It's constantly moving from link to link, discovering new pages, and deciding what to add to Google's giant library. And here's the thing, if that librarian can't get to your page, it might as well not exist. And it's surprisingly easy to accidentally put up a Do Not Disturb sign. There's this little file called robots.txt, and its whole job is to give crawlers instructions. If it tells Googlebot, keep out, then our friendly librarian will just turn around and leave. So rule number one, make sure the door is open. And the best part is, you don't have to guess about this stuff. Google gives you a totally free tool, Google Search Console, that lets you check. It'll tell you straight up if you're accidentally blocking that librarian from getting in. Okay, so the librarian can get to the door and it's unlocked. That's a great start. But what happens when it steps inside? Well, it needs to be able to see, right? The lights need to be on. That's our second key. Every single time Googlebot, or anyone for that matter, visits your page, your server sends back a quick little signal called a status code. You can think of it as the house instantly telling you if it's open for business or if there's a problem. And really, it's pretty simple. Google is looking for that green light, that 200 success code, that tells the librarian, yep, come on in, the page is working perfectly. If it gets an error code instead, it's like a broken lock. It's not going to waste time trying to get in, it'll just move on. Okay, so the librarian is in, the lights are on, but what about the actual book on the shelf? Is it something the library even wants? That brings us to our third and final key, the content itself. And the good news is, this part's pretty straightforward. The content just needs to meet two basic criteria. One, it has to be a file type Google can understand, like HTML. And two, it can't violate Google's spam policies. You know, no shady stuff. Keep it clean. Now, this is a really important distinction to make. That robots.txt file we talked about before, that's telling the librarian, don't even come in the front door. But there's another instruction called a no index tag. That one tells the librarian, hey, you can come in and look around, but please don't add this page to the public catalog. It's a really useful tool for pages you want to exist, but maybe keep private. So what happens when you have all three keys in place? When you get all this right? Well, you're not at the finish line yet, but you are officially at the starting line. You are in the race. So let's just recap real quick. The three minimums are 1. The door's open for Googlebot. 2. The lights are on, you're sending back that all good status code. And 3. The content on the page is actually indexable. That's it. That's the secret handshake. And that's the magic word right there, eligible. Getting these things right makes your page eligible to be seen by Google. It doesn't guarantee you'll be on page 1, but it's the absolute first and most critical step. You're in the game. So, you're on the starting line. You're eligible. But how do you actually win the race? What separates the pages that just show up from the ones that rise all the way to the top? Well, that's where the real fun begins. But that's a story for another time. Thanks for joining me.